little heavy. Clean these up, or one of them, something. I'll get some Windex, get to clean. Holy Moses. You guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Junks Automotive. We got a visitor. Yep. We're gonna clean some windshields, or build one, or we're gonna do something on the MGA. Yep. Thanks for coming back. Seasonal depression. It's a real thing. Back when I lived in New York, street racing. Summertime, in fact, everything starts dying and gets cold and your car's inside. Your car stays inside. Seasonal depression. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Real thing. Yeah. Yeah. All kidding aside. Hey, thanks, Uncle Tony. You know, really. It's not something to make fun of, but seasonal depression is a real thing. I suffer from it. To be honest, I really do. I kind of find my way. I got my self hacks where I get around it. But everybody does to an extent, right? Somehow way up here, or maybe just a tiny bit. Everybody does. Yeah, the seasons change, the days get shorter, it's gloomy, it's raining, and walking outside does so much for me. Just being outside. And it's just, you just don't do as much in the wintertime. But hey, we'll touch base on that. Let's oh golly, let's get one of these set up for this MGA, because you know I need something to keep me motivated, make it, you know, some big thing to make it look cooler. I'm tired of the fender thing for now. All right, let's get busy. I do have two windshields. I believe it was this one that was mounted on this car. So I believe it originally came with this car. So far, and this was from a parts car, I think there were at least 3 other MGAs out in the woods in varying conditions and states. Well, they're all bad, really bad. But I believe this came off of one of them. And it's a little, you know, now if I'm gonna clean them up, if this glass is in better shape than that glass, then we'll have to take the frames apart to get it swapped out, because this trim just seems to be nicer than that trim. And of course you got a big weather strip, got a replacement, so we have to take the ends framing off to slide the new one in. This is the rubber seal that goes in between the trim and the glass. So if I don't have to take this apart, I'm not messing with that. Nope. But if I have a piece of trim or the glass is better than one or the other, I'll take it, blow it all apart, use all this. It's just real thin rubber, sort of like bicycle inner tube material. That would have probably worked just fine. Then we have these cool little things, and these go around here and cover up this hole. So hopefully I don't have to replace that, and that's too short. All right, let's get some Windex out and go to town. There's that. You can tell the difference. One's tinted, one's not. This was the one that was on the car, which this car is a 1600. That could have come off a 1500. Don't know. This glass obviously is not perfect. There's a little bit of bad wiper scratch. It's not bad, but it's from a bad wiper. There's a little bit of, see the rust? I believe that is rust from this that's leaked in between the layers of glass. So you can see it's starting to delaminate just a little bit here and there. A couple little places right there. That one's worse. Where did I, well, you see it right there. Right here. It's where the two pieces are delaminating. So yes, Ralph, this is safety glass. So, being as these are kind of expensive, we're going to use this one, clean it up best we can. Haven't decided whether I'm going to blow the whole thing apart. And we'll start by taking these off. That way we can replace this. I believe this just slides all the way through. And kind of go from there. I'm more worried about this, because if I took this all apart and try to clean it, and I'm not going to be able to get in there and get that out anyway, right? So there may be no advantage to blowing the whole thing apart just to try to clean, when I don't see any other reason. You know, we might be able to get a razor blade in there and kind of, if it's on the outside of the glass, it'll come off. So let me start with getting these off. We got some random hardware here and there, so I'm going to find the best hardware. I got some stainless steel stuff too. You know, we'll have to polish these up best we can. We're going to use the old standby Lemon Fresh scent SOS pads. Funny thing is, I knew we had some in the camper, in the motorhome, in the Airstream. This is the very last one. This came with the motorhome. So that means, Ralph, we're using your mom's last SOS pad on your windshield. Kind of fitting. Well, some bad news. These little machine screws screw in here and hold your upright on, and these two in the middle were missing. So it appears this one is just missing and this one is broken off. Awesome. So one of two things. I'm gonna have to take the frame apart, like I didn't really want to do anyway, to try to get that bolt out. Maybe I can get from the other side of it. I don't know. I don't know if it goes through or not. Or I'm taking this off, replacing it with that one. Something. I think I'm kind of screwed on leaving it all together. There, I'm just going to leave a bolt out of it, but I don't want to do that either. Let me see if I can get this off. Dang it. Yeah. Did it now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Speaking of depression, but hey, could be worse. Glass could be, knock on wood, could be broke. For some reason, sure doesn't want to come loose in the middle. Rubber hammer. Jeez. All right, let me go change my pants now. So just cleaning up the edges here. That rusty looking stuff is not going to go away. It is actually in the layers of glass. The you know, most of your safety glass. There's two panes of glass that has a plastic liner. So that way when it breaks, it doesn't shatter and go everywhere. It just kind of, you've seen cars like that before, I'm sure, where the glass is still, it's shattered, but it's still sitting there. Well, that's why it just sits there. So I might have a trick. Right now I'm trying to get any of the junk off the edges. And I think probably everybody watching this, if you think about it, has known somebody who, because of the big D word, or divorce, it's kind of the same. I've been through those. Everybody here knows somebody who's been going through something and made a bad call and isn't in this world anymore. So it's not something to make light of, and I definitely don't mean to make light of it. A little chip. But I kind of suffered through it really for a long time before I really realized what was really actually going on. And then once I understood what was going on, man, it was a whole lot easier. It doesn't change the fact, you know, just because, oh man, it's seasonal, you know, the weather's changing and it sucks and everything's dying. I'm not getting enough sunlight. I'm not going outside as much. And it actually affects, and this is my belief, I'm not a doctor or a psychologist. I'm a hillbilly working in a sharp barn shop. But I am a very honest person, and people don't usually, you know, especially in these car shows, they don't want to talk about that kind of stuff because you're not there to hear that kind of stuff. But if we all deal with it, why not talk about it just a little? You know, and every year, never fails. Right about towards the end of October and in November, I can get, you know, when the summer's gone and all that, that's a bummer. Winter's coming. I don't like winter. I get to being grouchy and just agitated and really don't want to do a whole lot and just kind of, you know, down in the dumps, can kind of get on the dark side of things in my head. You know, and when I finally realized, hey, dummy, you go through this every year. It doesn't necessarily go away, but it makes it easier for me to point out and say, well, that's why I'm feeling that way. And you can't just say, no, it's not me. It's not me. I'm not going through anything like that. I'm a man. Well, I'm a man too. But I know what my brain does to me and my body chemistry changes. And I think that's what triggers it. That's just my opinion. And really, I guess I'm just wanting you guys to take care of yourselves. You know, if we talked about the Project Car Blues and you get burned out and you've got to take care of your mental health in the midst of everything in life. You can't just act like it's nothing. And you got too much work to do. You got a family to take care of and bills to pay like I do. And it doesn't mean you can't think about how you feel. If you don't feel okay, that's okay. If you feel bad enough, find somebody to talk to. You know, whether it's a professional or a hillbilly like me that calls it and shoots it straight, and I ain't scared to talk about nothing. Except for politics. We don't talk about that. All right, let me get this work surface cleaned up. Here's what I got figured out. This was the side that had the bolt screw broke out of it. And I looked and I saw one flathead screw sticking still through here. I believe it was right there. I don't know what I did with it. There it is. Just a little bitty thing. What that does is hold this. If I can get it to come out. So that bar goes inside this trim and gives threads for everything to screw to, right? Now you can see where I've got my broken off screw, and I'll see if I can't soak that, maybe put a little heat on it, a pair of vice grips, and just screw it out of there. Then I'll clean all this up, wire brush the crap out of that, soak it down with some that rust converter paint stuff, clean it all up, put it back together. Gotta clean all the rubber out. It's gonna be fun fitting that rubber. I don't know. We'll see. All right, both sides out. They're crammed in there pretty tight, so I can't put a whole lot of material on them because they've got to squeeze back into there, if that makes any sense. So, nice light coat of I wire brushed them down, clean them up good as I can. So I just want to, all it takes of this stuff is just make it wet. I'll hang it over there by the stove, let it get dry. Then I'll spritzy with just a little bit of black spray paint, just something to seal it up. And then while that's drying, I'll clean all these out, clean the other parts up, see what parts we're going to steal from the other windshield, because I'm sure there might be a few. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. These are the pieces that the little metal tracks go inside, and of course the track's rusted. That's really all that's caused any kind of rusting, you know. So just some coarse steel wool. Don't use this on your trim. This is coarse. It's coarse, of course. I just stick it down. I don't want to scratch this. This is the place I'll be able to see. This is what I want to polish up with the super fine SOS pad. We'll just stuff that down in there. Clean that up really good. Got all my rubber out of there. Just kind of dug everything out with a flat blade screwdriver, and the inside of that's done. So I might get my longer pieces and get them cleaned out, do the same thing to them. Now here I thought, see, I've had trouble with my knee here the last week or so, my good knee. Thought, well, instead of kneeling down working on the back fenders, we'll just stand here and do something easy. But as usual, in this rubber, I basically got to cut it to get it out. I mean, it's in there. That's the original stuff from 1950, 60, whenever. No, I'm not really sure what year this MGA is. I'm sure there's MGA experts out there that'll tell me. Okay, it's all 99% tore apart. It's gonna be fun putting back together, but let's see how we can get this to turn out. Just a test. Little Windex. Good old SOS pad. A lot better. There's going to be a little bit of pitting in it. Pitting. It is what it is. So we'll get everything cleaned up really good. At least that good. Start putting stuff back together. Oh boy. Well, this is a little nerve-wracking. My microphone thing died, so all you do, like it's easy or something, you take this rubber and you fold it around the glass, right? Tape to help hold it, and then I'm nudging the frame back on there. I don't know if nudging is a good word for it. So I didn't resort to soap. I did use the old Windexes, right? So just squirty squirty, little spritz of it on there. Now the thing is, there's a bracket screwed in the top frame, I guess you'd call it. And here's the bracket that we fixed up and painted, right? I'll show you when we're all done. There's holes in here. So this needs to go together enough that I can get those screws in. Just like that. Haha. Okay. And it seems to help with a little bit of something. There we go. Of course, you gotta be a little gentle. Yep, there we go. And this windshield really, I thought it'd be pretty tight inside this frame, but it's not. I mean, I guess it really doesn't go very far inside there. See if my holes are lined up. You can nudge it around a little bit with a rubber mallet. There we go. The funny thing is, that rubber mallet belonged to Ralph's dad. Went over there one time to get, I think, MGA parts or MGA stuff or whatever, and he had a wall of tools, you know, and they were trying to get rid of stuff, and they said, Mike, pick a tool off that wall. I said, no, that's okay. And they said, no, no, no. Everybody that comes and visits gets a tool off that wall, and this is what I picked, rubber mallet. So Ralph's dad's rubber mallet is working on Ralph and his dad's car. Let me get these screws in, and we'll have to mess around with the bottom one to get it. You'll see. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Here's the bottom piece. Now, once we put it together, then I've got to put the weather strip that goes against the body. It slides through here. There's the pieces that I cleaned up, rust prevented, sprayed, and painted. It's kind of the same for all the corners. And that inside rail where the bolt was broke off, all I had to do was get a hold of it with a pair of vice grips and screwed it right out. I was lucky enough to get a couple of screws off of the other windshield, which the other windshield is, I'm glad I didn't try to take it apart, because every bolt on that thing would just snap off, break. And this one at least came apart. I had trouble with this end, I think. One of the, there's little bitty screws way up inside there. You see them? That hold that bracket on. And it would not come out. I had to drill it out. And I was, so I found another, they're brass screws. And I found another one that was too long, cut it down enough that it'll fit, I think. Maybe. So let's see what happens. Get a little squirty squirty. I'm just hoping I can shove this on here and have the bolt holes line up that are in the sides of the side frames. It's so weird. Hold on. Ooh. Then these little brackets, they'll bend. I think it'll go. Maybe I can start on one end. I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be the tougher one. You got to get that glass started in that groove, because if you have that frame cocked just a little bit, it wants to bind up. We don't want to push against glass too hard. Let's see if I can't. And they did this at the factory. You saw the masking tape. This is how they did it. I'm gonna imagine. I can feel it go down a little bit. And it stretches that rubber as you go, man. That Windex is the way to go, because it'll evaporate. Using dish soap, it just stays gooey forever. Then it's real hard to clean off. We're getting there. Holes are almost lined up here. Well, that's enough of all that. It was all I could do. I could get one corner together and this corner over here, just, I mean, loosen screws up here, tight, got, you know, tappy, tappy, beat, beat, beat. It's together. We're done. So I'm gonna take a razor blade and I want to take my masking tape and I want to cut it just behind that trim a little bit, and not necessarily cut that rubber yet. And then I'm going to come up with a way to trim this rubber kind of, you know, just a little bit bigger all the way around than the trim to hide our the rusty delamination issue. It's together. Unfortunately, the screws that I had missing and broke off, I thought, well, I'll just take them off of that windshield. Now the parts windshield, but of course they all snapped. They just broke. So I'll have to find a set of screws, or at least 3 or 4 more, you know. But we got her together. But let's see what it looks like on the car. Yes, not too bad. I have to trim my ends off here a little bit. She's going to make her pucker right here. but I'm kind of glad how nice and laid out it is. I've seen a few MGAs, pictures of them where this weather seal is, makes no sense to me why they would do that, or somebody would do it. But tape on it for now. I'm not going to bolt it in. I still got a final buff and do a lot of other stuff. I just I got to swap out my little clip from the other windshield because it's nicer for the top to hook onto. There's our, you know, I mean, I'm happy with that. Looks like a car. Yep. Yeah, you'd be, you know, I'll be up here more, like Ralph will be down here, but, you know. Hey, appreciate you guys watching. And really, just take care of yourself. It's important you take care of yourself, because us men spend, and some of you ladies, I know a lot of ladies that, man, they do the dad's job, the mom's job, the grandpa's job, the grandma's job, and work a job. 2 jobs. So any grown person that goes through all that, you've got to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your family, you can't take care of your job, you can't take care of the things you need to take care of. That's my only point. So like Uncle Tony says, it's a real thing. For sure. But, hey, till next time, I sure appreciate you guys watching and checking things out. Had a good time doing the viewers submitted projects. You know, man, you guys blow me away. Really, you are something else. I don't know why you'd watch me, but hey, you got a project you're working on, one you're thinking about buying, a story about a project with some pictures. Email me. We'll get it added to the episode number 2, right? It wasn't a blockbuster view hit kind of thing on the old website we're looking at, but heck, you know, it was fun and I enjoyed it, and that's why I do this more than anything. It's just a lot of fun when you guys watch. All right, hey, peace. See you next time. Thanks for coming back. Junks Automotive. Man, I got a lot of work to do. Oh. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.